Alice was a creature of chaos, the embodiment of childhood nightmares living under the bed. She looked like a porcelain doll, but not the kind you display on a shelf. Her porcelain was unhealthily pale, covered in places with a web of thin cracks through which a frightening blackness peeked through. Her eyes, two black pools, seemed to look into her very soul, and the smile on her pretty face promised only pain and suffering. It had appeared in old Martha's house unexpectedly, as all cursed things do, with a traveling peddler offering curiosities at ridiculous prices. Martha, a lonely old woman, had always had a taste for such trinkets. The doll, with its chilling beauty and eyes full of a strange, almost hypnotic luster, captivated her at first sight. "What's her name?" Martha wheezed, running a curled finger along the doll's porcelain cheek. "Her name is Alice," the peddler whispered, hiding his eyes. "But be careful, madam. She has a difficult temper." Martha, of course, paid no attention to the warning. What could this doll know about the complexities of life, the pain of loss, the oppressive loneliness? The first few days passed quietly. Alice took a place of honor on the mantelpiece, becoming a silent witness to the monotonous days of the old woman. But gradually something began to change. At night, Martha began to have nightmares. She dreamed of labyrinths of mirror shards, where Alice was waiting for her around every corner, and her soundless laughter echoed in the endless corridors. During the day, Martha began to notice strange things. Objects disappeared from their places, only to reappear in the most unexpected corners of the house. The antique clock on the wall, which hadn't worked for years, suddenly began counting down the time with frightening accuracy. But the worst of it was that Martha began to hear whispering. It came from everywhere, from dark corners, from under the floorboards, from her reflection in the mirror. And each time she listened to the unintelligible murmurings, Martha recognized a single word: Alice. Fear, like poison ivy, braided the old woman's heart. She tried to get rid of the doll, to throw it away, to burn it, but it invariably returned, reappearing in its place, as if mocking Martha's helplessness. One night Martha awoke to a chilling cold sensation. The room was plunged into an unnatural silence. Only the flickering light of the moon revealed the ominous silhouette of Alice standing by the bed. But what threw Martha into real terror was not the doll's empty eyes, but what she held in her porcelain hands. It was a small silver mirror, an exact replica of the one on Martha's dressing table. But in the reflection of the mirror was not an old woman, but a distorted, demonic likeness of Alice, with eyes burning red fire and teeth grinning in a predatory smile. The next moment, the mirror in the doll's hands flashed with blinding light, and Martha let out a heart-rending scream. In the morning, the neighbors found Martha breathless. Her face, frozen in a grimace of horror, seemed like a wax mask. Her body was unnaturally twisted, as if something important had been ripped out of her. Alice had disappeared. They say that now she roams the world, choosing new victims among the lonely and unfortunate to lure them into her sinister-looking glass, where eternal darkness reigns and from which there is no escape. And if you suddenly hear in the silence a quiet child's laughter or a whisper calling you by name, do not turn around. Perhaps it is you who Alice has chosen as her next victim.